Crime Intelligence Head Dumisani Khumalo will continue his testimony before the Madlanga Commission today. Yesterday, Khumalo revealed how suspended Deputy National Police Commissioner Shadrack Sibiya sometimes used a car registered under a serial hijacker. He's testified that the Toyota bakkie that is sometimes driven by Sibiya is registered under Stuart James Scharnick. He says their investigations so far have showed that the convicted criminal has not served time for his criminal activity. Watching this story is our senior reporter Canny Maphanga, who joins us now live once again from Pretoria. And Canny, today we're expecting, of course, Dumisani Khumalo to be back in the hot seat, so to speak, as we continue to get a sense, of course, of the work that they have done to try to get to the bottom of what is taking place. Help us place, I suppose, why it was important that Dumisani Khumalo point to this bodyguard in trying to, of course, pin Shadrack Sibiya.
Indeed. Good morning to you and to the viewers at home. Well, essentially, this speaks to the crux of the issue, which is the alleged infiltration, or the extent to which these criminal cartels have infiltrated the criminal justice system, particularly the South African police services. We are hearing from the witness, that is Lieutenant General Dumisani Khumalo, that this particular individual, that is Stuart James, is someone that was highlighted in the investigations, and I see that he's trying to illustrate that the extent of the rot in the South African police services not only extends to its ordinary members, but to high-ranking police officials. You may remember that he pointed to the events of the 6th of December 2024, stating that when that Katiso KT Molefe operation takedown took place, and you saw this level of interest that it garnered, he's saying to the Commission that this is not a coincidence. This is part of a deliberate attempt to shield these alleged criminal cartels. He's trying to show the extent to which that shield takes place through these various instances that he has put through the Commission. Now, it's helpful that Lieutenant General Dumisani Khumalo not only testifies with his, his knowledge of what he knows, but he gives us, exhibits or annexures that are attached to their current investigations as intelligence. And we see that according to the investigations, they have HD CCTV footage which shows that there's a police officer, Sergeant Kosi, within the command of the now suspended Lieutenant General Shadrack Sibiya in crime detection, that actually was at the home of Katiso KT Molefe prior to the actual operation takedown. Less than 10 days he was there, and he left with a bag of goods that he took home with him, and he was accompanied by Katiso KT Molefe. Another example is he has this vehicle tracking system and several vehicles that are paired together, in which you can see them traveling together along the surveillance that they've put before the Commission. Now, he states that the Toyota Hilux that you see in his, his annexures is the same Toyota Hilux that is seen at the home of Shadrack Sibiya when the October 2025 raid took place. It means that what he's trying to illustrate is that the car that Sibiya was using is that of Stuart James, who is someone that has quite an incredible rap sheet as a serial carjacker. You're talking about 36 cases, at least 18 where he was found guilty, 11 withdrawn, and then 5 found not guilty. So the extent to which the rot takes place is what he's trying to illustrate, and we expect that at 9:30 a.m. this morning he'll continue with those examples before the Commission to illustrate that the extent extends to those high-ranking SABC officials, and that is the problem that the Commission needs to identify. But of course, this all takes place amid developing information about Brown Mokhotsi, the alleged associate of Police Minister Senzo Mchunu, who is crucial to the question of the disbandment of the PKTT and the relationship between Mchunu, or alleged relationship between Mchunu and some of these cartel members. Where we left off yesterday, Jeremy Michaels had told us that the Madlanga Commission had offered some form of protection to Brown Mokhotsi, as their responsibility to their witnesses is to ensure that they remain safe and that they're protected when they appear and prior to appearing at the Madlanga Commission. I think it's an opportune moment to get an update on the status of that particular offer that was made to Brown Mokhotsi yesterday in light of the allegations that were made about an alleged hit. Jeremy, thank you so much for joining us. Are you able to update us further on what the discussions have been with regards to this offer that you've made to the Brown Mokhotsi, who has been given a Rule 3 notice by the Commission?
Good morning, Kenny. What I can tell you is that we have been in contact with Mr. Mokhotsi as recently as this morning.
Wow.
We are in ongoing discussions with him and his legal representatives to secure his appearance before the Commission. As you say, and as we said yesterday, we have offered him protection. We are concerned about his safety. Of course, the South African Police Service is investigating the incident which took place on Monday night, night before last. And that, of course, is a separate process. For our part, we are concerned about his safety, and as you say, he is a key witness who is meant to testify before the Commission, and we are working towards that.
Has he accepted the offer?
I can't get into that detail, except to say that we are in communication with him and his legal team. And let's see how it unfolds over the coming days and weeks.
And Jeremy, based on what you can tell us about the timeline so far, we know that we are heading towards the festive season. You're still in phase 1, and a preliminary report is expected. I'm not sure if it's in the end of November or the end of December. Maybe you can clarify for us. What is the timeline we're looking at so far since the Commission has progressed quite fast on phase 1 of its evidence?
I'm smiling and I don't want to make light of it, but Christmas does seem to be very far away, doesn't it? We're just at the beginning of November.
Yeah.
On a serious note, the Commission has a lot of work to get through. As you and the public are able to see on a daily basis, there are new individuals being implicated, literally on a daily basis. And that goes back to the point that we made a couple of months ago, that we can't really anticipate the timeline because there is this unknown factor of what we are going to uncover. The investigators, the legal team are working around the clock to not only get to the bottom of the allegations made by Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, but also to deal with new aspects that are arising literally on a daily basis. So it is very difficult under those circumstances. One, as we've said before, the timeline of a 3-month interim report to the President and a 6-month timeline for a final report was already quite tight given the broad scope, the mandate contained in the terms of reference. And so that's one. 2 was, of course, the fact that we had a late starting date. And so on that basis alone, there was an adjustment that was required in the timeline, in the deadlines that had been set by the President.
But the
Justice
Madlanga,
yes, Justice Madlanga is in discussion with President Ramaphosa on the timeline, and I trust that an announcement in that regard will be made in due course. But on that basis alone, the timeline was difficult. Now you have this added complication, which we did anticipate, that there's a lot that is coming out of the process, out of the hearings, new information, and also many people are coming forward to say, we have this information, we have that, and obviously that needs to be looked into. Some of it, and perhaps I should say a lot of it, falls outside of the scope of the terms of reference. But it is understandable that members of the public are approaching the Commission with many complaints and serious allegations related to what is happening at a local level. Remember that the Commission's terms of reference are specifically related to the allegations made by Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi on the 6th of July. But as I say, it is understandable that members of the public then deduce from the inquiry, the announcement of the inquiry, that they can come to the Commission with all manner of complaints. That is not the case. That is not our brief. what we are charged with is investigating, inquiring into the very specific allegations made by Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi. But again, you can't judge what is coming out of the wash, so to speak, and the information that is being offered. So we have to look into that and judge each complaint and allegation on its merits, and that is a tedious process. So the timeline, it's very difficult to say exactly how long it is going to take, but we certainly are working to deliver an interim report to the President, we hope before the end of this year, and then we will see how phase 2 runs. We do anticipate that we will enter phase 2 in the next fortnight or so, but it will probably be a mix of phase 1 and 2. And for the benefit of your viewers, again, just as a reminder that phase 1 is the airing of the allegations by Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi under oath, which of course he testified on the 17th, 18th and 19th of September. And what we've seen in the weeks that have followed, we are now on day 24 of the hearings, is the substantiation and corroboration of those allegations. So I think it is plain for everyone to see that that is what is happening, and that was the plan that the Commission announced on the 17th of September, right at the start of the hearings. So getting into phase 2, it is then the implicated parties coming to reply, and obviously also there is an opportunity for all individuals implicated to cross-examine the witnesses who have testified in phase 1. So
lastly, just quickly before you wrap up on that, speaking on implicated persons, after you issued the Rule 3 notice, Brown Mokhotsi did ask for an extension until the end of October to consult with his lawyers. Were you able to get that response in terms of Rule 3 by Brown Mokhotsi, or are you still waiting for that response?
this applies to all witnesses, not only Mr. Mokhotsi. The Commission does not comment on those details.
Okay.
We engage with the legal representatives of implicated parties and any number of other people who have been approaching us, again, on a daily basis. But we don't get into the detail of our exact communication with those individuals.
All right, thank you very much. That's Jeremy Michaels, the spokesperson for the Madlanga Commission, remaining mum on details surrounding whether Brown Mokhotsi has accepted the offer or not, or if he has indeed heeded to the Rule 3 notice that was sent to him following the allegations that were made about his alleged role in the disbandment or the decision by Police Minister Senzo Mchunu, who is now on a leave of absence, to disband the PKTT. We expect for Lieutenant General Dumisani Khumalo to return to the stand at 9:30 a.m. to continue to illustrate from the vantage point of intelligence investigations about the alleged rot or the alleged infiltration in the South African police services by the criminal cartels.